All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. It's Pastor Dow. I guess the reason why I continue to keep doing these videos right here is simply because I know that by the time you get the spin of the mainstream news media and what the government has to say, you're not going to get the truth of it, even though it's written right there plainly in front of your face. So I tell you what, so much for government control, gun control, isn't it? It's just unbelievable. Well, here we are again, all right? And what state makes the news again? It just seems to cannot just stay out of the news no matter what. Chicago. Listen to this. Bloodiest Christmas weekend. Bloodiest Christmas weekend. All right? Look at this. 11 dead and more than 60 shot in Chicago. Did y'all hear that? 60 shot in Chicago. Whew. Man, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say at all. Because the people who are against you being able to protect yourselves, the anti-Second Amendment establishment that tries to do whatever they can to twist, warp, and distort it. Illinois definitely is not a champion for liberty and a champion for freedom. That state cannot tell you that they are for people's rights. There's no way, because the murder, the slaughter, the heinous acts that continue to keep coming out of that hub, it is utterly appalling to me. Utterly appalling me. I can't understand personally for the life of me why would somebody want to live in that state. But anyway, it says, look at this. More than 60 people were shot, 11 fatally across Chicago during the holiday weekend, according to police, making it the deadliest weekend in years in the Windy City, reaching a record 753 homicides in 2016. We had a reprehensible amount of shootings and murders, Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson said on Monday, according to WALB. Many, he said, were deliberately and planned shootings by one gang against another. They were targeted, knowing fully well that individuals would be at their homes of families, and friends celebrating the holidays. This was followed by several acts of retaliation, he added. Well, see, I'm going to tell you right now, don't tell me, with all the technology and with all the information and with the extraordinary amount of money that we spend on law enforcement in this country, don't tell me that they cannot go and root out all these gangs. They can, but they don't want to. You know the reason why? Because I'm telling you flat out, they want this to happen. The government wants these gangs to flourish. Because if they didn't, they would just go in and root them out. They would root them out and tear it up. You know, down here in Nashville, years ago, there was this place, it was constant shooting, constant murder. Just up the street from where I used to live, almost every single night. And then we're talking about 30 years ago. And man, you know what they did? They finally came in. They showed such a show of force. They had 10 times the amount of police in that area. They had SWAT teams there. They was condemning homes. They were moving people out. And you know what? That place don't have that problem no more. That old part of Nashville that used to be one time historic Nashville is coming back again. Because whoever the mayor was, whoever the politicians was, you know what? They say, we're not going to put up with this stuff anymore. We're just simply not going to put up with this stuff anymore. So you know what? We're going to put our time, energy, effort, resources into this, and we're going to root these bastards out. But they ain't going to tell you that. You know why? Because they don't want them rooted out. It's a gun control agenda, and who cares if these people continue to keep dying? Because after all, they're not doing nothing but just killing each other anyway. So, a total of 61 people were shot in the city during the holiday weekend, and 11 of them died of their wounds, according to the Chicago Tribune. Police said most victims were targeted by gang members. The most recent shooting happened on Monday night when two teenage girls were shot after their father had left them in a van to go speak to someone in a nearby house. Are you serious? The father's 13-year-old daughter was shot in the back and is in critical condition. The 14-year-old suffered a graze wound. The 2-year-old boy, also in the van, was unharmed according to police. Man, you see, this crap right here, get your families and get out of Chicago. You have literally got to be retarded and insane. I mean, seriously retarded and insane to set up there, to want to stay in a state like this that will not allow you to be able to protect yourself. And what kind of protection can you have when you're going into a damn war zone and bullets are being sprayed all over the place and you don't even know when the next bullet is coming? I can't understand for the life of me, how do you rationalize that? How do you constantly over and over and over again, continually keep saying, you know what, this is my home. We gonna stay here. What? Until you and your whole family die? It's just off of the... because you can see that the government ain't gonna do anything about it, even with all the laws they have against guns. They refuse to let the citizens protect themselves. You know what this is? Chicago is an example of Britain. It's an example of Australia. It's an example of every single country that has disarmed its citizens through a law's stroke of the pen. And it proves my point again, that the only people that obey laws are the law-abiding citizens, that criminals and the police, they're not going to obey it. They're above it. We already see it over and over again. What we need is a clean, total swipe, a clean wipe. Let me come to Chicago and let me come to Illinois and let me run for mayor. Let me go there and run for mayor. I guarantee you I will straighten Chicago up in less than 6 months. I will straighten that booger up in less than 6 months. First thing I'll do, go get them gang members and I'll throw them boogers off the top of roofs. That's what I do. I'll find me the tallest building in Chicago and let them all go skydiving without a parachute. Well, Pastor, no, I don't think you should do that. So, let me see. If good men do nothing, then evil will continue to flourish. So I think that's what you're really truly saying here, right? Because power understands nothing but power. And you know what? This utopia of what you have for as a country goes to change. It's not going to be made by politicians. It's not going to be made by people all of a sudden coming to, having a kumbaya moment, and all of a sudden they're just going to be righteous, moral people. No, change comes when you yourself decide to change. And guess what? One day, and it's sad to say, you continue to keep your family in those hostile population centers, one day we're going to be reading about you on the news. It's a sad situation. Get out of that communist state, Illinois, and get out of there fast.